Have you ever wondered if God was silent or if life was just too loud to hear him? Hi, I'm Gabrielle. For a long time, I mistook noise for connection. I filled my days with podcasts, messages, group chats, notifications. I told myself I was being productive, that constant input meant progress. But one day I realized something simple and humbling. God hadn't stopped speaking. I just stopped listening. Today, I want to talk about what it really means to quiet the world around you and the world within you so you can actually hear God's voice again. There was a season when I woke up scrolling and went to bed thinking. My mind never rested. Even my prayers felt rushed. One morning, I remember saying out loud, "God, why aren't you answering me?" And in that moment, I felt a whisper in my spirit. You keep talking, but you never wait. That broke me in the best way. Because hearing from God doesn't happen in chaos, it happens in quiet. He doesn't compete with the noise, he waits for the stillness. And sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do isn't more devotion, it's less distraction. We expect God's voice to sound dramatic, a thunderbolt, a sign, an open door, but most of the time he speaks like he did to Elijah, in a still, small voice. That whisper requires proximity. You have to be close to hear it. His voice doesn't rush me, it grounds me. It doesn't pressure, it peacefully redirects. You'll know it's him because it carries clarity and not confusion. So the real question isn't, is God speaking? It's, am I quiet enough to listen? Noise doesn't just come from the outside, it's internal too. Comparison, anxiety, overthinking, the constant need to do something instead of be something. I had to learn that every sound isn't a signal and not every opportunity is an instruction. When I finally limited my inputs, fewer opinions, fewer screens, more silence, I started to recognize which thoughts were mine and which were his. Peace became my confirmation. If it didn't bring peace, it probably wasn't God. Here's what helped me tune back in. Morning quiet. So before my phone, before the world, I gave God the first 10 minutes. Prayer walks, no agenda, no playlist, just movement and listening. Journaling, writing what I sense instead of rushing to fix things. And a digital Sabbath, one day a week to unplug, refill, and reset. You don't have to chase God's voice. You just have to create room for it. He's always speaking, but he rarely shouts. Sometimes silence is the answer because it's preparing your heart to recognize the next word. In Psalms 46:10, God says, "Be still and know that I am God." That verse isn't just an instruction, it's an invitation to stop striving, to remember who's in control. And in John 10:27, Jesus says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." That means his voice isn't rare, it's relational. The closer you draw, the clearer it becomes. Sometimes the whisper you're waiting for is already echoing your peace. If life feels loud right now, this is your reminder, God isn't lost in the noise. He's waiting in the stillness. Start small. A moment of quiet in the car, a deep breath before you respond, a few minutes at night with no scrolling, just presence. You'll be surprised how clearly you can hear when you stop trying to listen harder and start listening softer, because God doesn't rush the ones he loves. He whispers to the ones who rest. Be still. He's been speaking all along. If this message spoke to you, drop a star or praying hands in the comments and share one way you're creating quiet to hear him this week.